The tension snapped before anyone could blink. A patrol car skidded to the curb with a screech. Two uniformed officers jumped out. One pointed directly at him. "Hey, stop right there." Malik Thompson, 39 years old, black, sharply dressed in navy slacks and a crisp white shirt, led a messenger bag in hand. Calm eyes behind thin frame glasses, paused mid-step. He was heading to the federal office downtown. He had a briefing in 15 minutes. "Is there a problem?" Malik asked, voice low, controlled. The taller officer stepped forward, chest out, tone like thunder. "There's always a problem when someone's acting suspicious." Malik raised an eyebrow. "I'm walking to work." "Work?" the officer scoffed. "In that outfit? Don't make me laugh." Bystanders slowed. Phones appeared. Whispers spread like wildfire. The second officer circled behind Malik. "Empty your pockets," he barked. Malik stayed still. "I won't. I haven't done anything wrong." Wrong answer. The first officer leaned closer, nose almost touching his. "You don't tell us how to do our jobs." Malik didn't flinch, didn't raise his voice, but his eyes spoke volumes. "This will not end the way you think." The officer saw only a man they assumed they could intimidate. They had no idea. Not yet, but the street would witness, and the truth would burn. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's video, we want to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Malik remained composed while the officers circled him like predators. "Where's your ID?" the taller one barked. "In my bag," Malik replied calmly. "Open it." "No." The officer's face twisted. "Let me make this real simple. You open it or we do." Malik's gaze was steady. "I will not be searched without cause." "You have none." The crowd grew larger. Some shook their heads. Others whispered in disbelief. Why don't they just leave him alone? Malik's hands remained visible, calm, controlled. Every step measured, every breath steady. The officer shoved him. "Don't get smart." Malik stumbled back slightly, adjusted his bag, straightened his jacket, deadly calm. "I suggest you step away," he said quietly. The second officer laughed. "Oh, we got a tough guy." They reached for his arm, but a sharp voice cut across the tension. Malik, a young federal aide, sprinted toward him. Papers scattered across the sidewalk. "Sir, you're late for your briefing." "They're waiting." The officers froze. "Sir?" Malik nodded to the aide and lifted his bag. "I told you," he said, calm but commanding. "I'm on my way to work." Whispers spread. "He works there? He's someone important?" "Oh no." The officers exchanged uneasy glances. But still they didn't know. Not yet. The taller officer tried to regain composure. "So what? Being late doesn't matter." Malik stepped closer, calm and unyielding. "True," he said evenly. "Being late doesn't matter, but commanding the office does." The officer blinked, confusion flickering. Before Malik could speak, a black sedan swung into view. Doors opened. Security agents in suits, badges visible, earpieces buzzing. The crowd gasped. They moved directly toward Malik. "Mr. Thompson, are you all right?" one asked. "Federal agent." The word landed like a bomb. The officers paled. The crowd erupted. "Oh my God, he's a federal agent. They were harassing him? This is huge." The taller officer stammered. "Sir, we didn't know." Malik's voice was soft but powerful. "You didn't care to know." The calm held weight. Authority. Truth. Pressure. "You saw a black man in a shirt and slacks," he said quietly, "and assumed he was a problem." The officer's jaw opened. No words came. The street held its breath. Malik walked past. Security flanking him. The aide following closely. But before entering the building, he turned back, eyes locked on the man who shoved him. "I'll see you again," he said. The officers went pale. They had no idea. Not yet. Bystanders murmured, some angry, some relieved. The street, once a stage of intimidation, now crackled with suspense. "Did you see that?" A woman whispered. He's one of them? Yes, he's in charge. Malik's calm was unnerving. He had let the officers feel power, arrogance, control. Now, the scales had tipped silently, and the consequences would not wait long. Officer Hale's voice cracked first. W8, Mr. Thompson? Silence fell over the street like a thunderclap. The crowd froze. The officers froze. Even the distant traffic seemed to pause, holding its breath. Malik stood calmly, dust on his jacket, wrists stiff from the aggressive grab moments before. The same man they shoved, insulted, and threatened, all because he was black. And now, he was a federal agent. Officer Briggs stumbled backward, eyes wide, throat tight. You didn't, why didn't you say? Malik's voice was calm, cutting to the tension. I wanted to see how you treat people when you think no one is watching. The crowd gasped. A woman whispered her friend, "Oh my God!" He set them up, and they walked right into it. Phones were out, but not recording, just watching, absorbing. A city bus driver stepped forward. I saw everything. They harassed him, shoved him, called backup, because he was just standing there. Briggs whispered, "It was a misunderstanding." Malik's tone was steel. "No, it was a pattern." A teenager yelled from the sidewalk. "You do this to us every day." Someone clapped. Then another. Soon the whole block erupted. Applause, cheers, anger, vindication. The police department had never looked so small. Lieutenant Harper, the highest-ranking officer on scene, finally arrived. He stared at Malik, stared at the cuffs, the bruises. Then he turned to his own man. "What did you do?" Briggs muttered. "He looked suspicious, sir." Harper exploded. "He's a federal agent." "Suspicious of what?" Hale stuttered. "Standing near a car that didn't belong to him?" Malik lifted his keys. "It belongs to me." Gasps rippled across the street. Harper's voice dropped to a deadly whisper. "You racially profiled a federal officer in front of civilians during daytime traffic. You detained him without cause, and you put your hands on him." Hale went pale. Briggs whispered, "We're finished." Malik's voice was calm, deliberate. "No, you're not finished. You're just beginning to learn." He looked around the neighborhood. Black elders, immigrant shopkeepers, teenagers with backpacks, mothers pushing strollers. These people are finished being afraid of you. The crowd roared. Harper straightened and saluted, fully, in front of everyone. "Sir, I apologize, on behalf of the department." Malik didn't return the salute. He stared at the two officers. "You will not go back to your cars. You will not return patrol today. You will follow protocol." He stepped closer. "You will be escorted from this scene. You will write statements. And starting tomorrow, mandatory retraining. Public, with community oversight." Briggs whispered, "In front of them?" Malik nodded. "In front of all of them. They're the ones you failed to serve." Applause erupted again, louder, stronger. The officers shrank under it. Malik raised his hand for quiet. A calm washed over the crowd. "When I joined the federal service," he began, voice soft but firm, "people told me change would be slow. Be patient. Be polite. Don't make waves." He inhaled. "But today I was shoved, harassed, and humiliated. Not because I broke the law, but because someone decided I didn't belong." A young boy whispered, "That happens to us too." Malik's voice softened. "I know, and it stops now." People nodded, some wiping tears. "You are not the problem. The system is. And if I have to stand in the street, bruised, to prove it, I will." The crowd erupted again, cheers, cries, clapping. Reporters rushed from vans, microphones out. "What happened here, sir?" Malik didn't answer them. He looked at the people. The city saw enough. They don't need a headline. They need change. Camera flashes popped anyway. Officer Harper stood beside him, shoulders squared. Effective immediately. Zero tolerance for racial profiling. Every patrol officer will be retrained under direct oversight, including me. The crowd cheered. For the first time, police stood with citizens, not above them. Later, Inside the federal office, Briggs and Hale sat across from Malik. No uniforms, no weapons, just two men realizing how small they had been. Briggs whispered, "Why didn't you tell us who you were?" Malik leaned forward. "Because black men should not need a title to be treated like human beings." Silence. Briggs stared at his boots. "I'm ashamed," he whispered. Malik nodded. "Good. Keep that feeling. Shame can be a beginning." He signed orders. Mandatory retraining. Community service assignments. Public accountability sessions. Not punishment. Transformation. 3 weeks later. The same officers who harassed strangers were unloading food at shelters, listening to neighborhood stories, working with youth instead of chasing them. A woman who witnessed a street harassment walked into a meeting. "I used to cross the road when I saw police. Now they help carry groceries." Sometimes change is paperwork. Sometimes it begins with bruises on wrists. But always it begins with truth at a public gathering. For too long, people thought power meant a badge, a gun, or a title. But real power is how you treat people when you think they are nobody. He looked at the crowd. And today we learn together. No one is nobody. Injustice does not always scream. Sometimes it wears a uniform, a smile, or authority. But truth strips titles and exposes character. Respect is not a gift for the powerful. Respect is a right of the human. A city changed not because a federal agent demanded obedience, but because he demanded humanity. If you cannot treat the weak with dignity, you do not deserve power.